مساكم الله بالخير مشاهدينا وحياكم الله معنا وليلة جديدة، ليلة ونيسة من ليالي الكويت. راح يكون ضيفنا فيها النجم العالمي سامي يوسف. السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
حياك الله في الكويت.
شكرا.
أيضا على البركة your new album بركة.
ألف شكر. Thank you so much.
وبارك الله فيك.
شكرا وفيكم. شكرا.
Sami, let's talk about this album. It's been 1 year of research in Oriental folklore music and all of that from all over the Islamic world. Tell me more about these 15 or let's say 14, because you have your own single in it.
Yes. Basically, this album, Barakah, has attempted to unveil the gems of the Islamic world. It is an unashamedly Islamic album in that it unveils some of the genius of, the music of India all the way to Andalusia. It really is a journey. And I did this album really to show the truth of this tradition, which is that this tradition, like all the traditions in this world, has an unbelievable, in the case of Islam, an unbelievable artistic side. Unbelievable, unparalleled, really.
Yeah.
Whether it's in the masajid, you see the mosques, the minarets, the science that went into building those mosques is genius, really.
True art.
Really, it's majestic, and it's never about the self, it's always about the sacred. It's always the sacred.
There is one song I was surprised that you have it, the one by Rab'a al-Adawiyya.
Yes.
Why did you choose this? It was more female.
An incredibly interesting, spiritual human being, historical figure who renounced everything, really. She gave up everything. She didn't marry. And we have so many cases like this, female sages, and known, some unknown.
Yeah.
But
why did you choose these
because
words?
It's so beautiful.
عرفت الهوى.
Beautiful, unbelievable. And the English translation of this is written, was written by Abdul Hakim Murad, who is from Cambridge. He's a university professor. His English name is Timothy Winter, and he translated it and did a beautiful job. Very grateful to him. The English is quite high.
Yeah.
It's like Fusha of English,
yeah,
let's say. And the instruments used are Khurasani. They're not Andalusian, but when you hear it, you don't feel like something is strange, because all these instruments, they share the same barakah. They share the same barakah Muhammadiyya, They come from the same grace. They share the same grace. That's why it doesn't sound odd.
Also, we'll talk about Awake. It's also a unique.
Yes.
And the English in it. It's
yes. T.J. Winter.
Great.
T.J. Timothy Winter. Professor Timothy Winter from Cambridge. He wrote the translation. This song, Awake, is very interesting. It was written by a Polish composer. The story of this song is that Sultan Murad III had missed the Fajr prayer. He missed it. And when he woke up, he wrote this unbelievable poetry regarding regret, ghifla, and how we should wait. But it's so profound because there's so many different layers of meaning.
Yeah.
It's not just about sleep. It's also about ghifla in general, just waking up and just being in the present, being alive. So many layers, it's so beautiful. Ali Ufki Bey wrote the melody to that poem, and it's remained as one of the greatest pieces in Islamic music. Yeah. It's called Uyan e Gözlerim Uyan, wake, oh my eyes, wake. And all the instruments used are traditional Ottoman instruments, and going back to that era. So it's like a museum. It's like you're listening to, as much as I could, as much as I tried to be as authentic as possible, using the instruments of that time, which is still relevant today. This piece is, very known in Turkey, but I wanted it to be known amongst the shabab and generally the people in general. And it's not just, I see myself as responsible for trying to keep it alive, trying to play a role in
I love what you
preserving it.
did as an artist, as a musician. In order to go forward with your music, you went backward to the history.
It's a very profound statement. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah alayk.
Yeah, for some reason I always go against the tide. When I released Al-Mu'allim, everyone was saying, this guy, everyone's going this way, and he's going this way. And I don't know, I didn't try to do it, it's just, it's a belief, you're right, in order for us to move forward, I really believe, especially with the youth, the shabab, I really believe it's important to know our roots. It's important just to know who we are, that we are heirs to this unbelievable art. This is our art, this is our music, this is our poetry, this is our culture. So, yeah, I really think it's important.
So to put barakah in between all of these great songs and words and everything, barakah is your own.
Yes, the title track of the album, Barakah, the main song. It's my modest composition. It has about 20 tambours, which is a very interesting instrument because the Muslims, for hundreds of years, they were the ones who played a huge role in cultivating that instrument, keeping it alive. And then you have the same instrument in Greece, which is called the bambura, and in India they call it the tampura. Similar but different. And I use 20 and traditional daf with traditional sounds made. It's an instrumental piece. It's just music and it's shifting maqams, different maqams. I hope.
It's a summary of the research.
It takes a big response. It's a big courage. You need a lot of courage to put something new amongst these great pieces. The genius of the Islamic world. But
we enjoyed it.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
أبا القاسم يا حبيبي يا محمد يا شفيعي يا محمد خير خلق الله محمد يا مصطفى يا إمام المرسلين يا مصطفى يا شفيع العالمين يا مصطفى يا إمام المرسلين يا مصطفى يا شفيع العالمين.
And we'll talk a little bit about something you said in one of your interviews. You said as you were 4 years old, you started to sing melodies before even talking or having words.
You research very well, mashallah.
I have to. I have a great singer and artist.
God bless you, barakallahu feekum. Yeah, my family are very musical. I come from a very highly cultivated, culturally rich family. And, grew up listening to classical music, Western classical music, Bach, Kulthum, recitation of the Quran. Of course, that's not music. We don't call it music, but it's musical. It's musical as I meant the sounds.
Of art also.
Out of respect, we don't call it music. But there's no doubt there's a musical dimension to it because of the maqams and the sounds, the sacred sounds. So, qawwali, Turkish music, Kurdish music, all different types of music. And poetry. Beautiful poetry. So, naturally, I started singing before I could talk, making melodies
and with the single with your father, we knew where you had your gift from.
Alhamdulillah, he's an incredibly talented, incredibly versatile musician, my role model, my ustad, teacher,
Muallim.
You know, I mean, most of the ta'aleem I got, most of the tarbiyah, I mean, all of it really, I owe to him. And he's a great composer of both Azeri and Persian music. Every single song in Baraka belongs to the mainstream Orthodox Islamic world, Islamic tradition. And it was a great honor for me to do this, because not many people have gone in that direction, you know, to invest. It was not easy, but a great honor, a great blessing.
And a great job. Thank you.
Inshallah, I hope so.
As my final question will be spiritique.
Yes.
Is it a new genre of music you invented, or was it there before?
Spiritique had to be invented because it's a new word. I'm not a fan of new things in general, but it had to be created because it was my music was being called other things, Islamic rock and astaghfirullah, Islamic pop and all that. So I created this genre basically to define my sound, define my music. I'm a lover of the sacred. I'm a lover of God. That is my main inspiration always when I write anything, any song, any piece. And I'm a lover of God's creation. And spiritique is music, my music, that is underpinned by spirituality. At its heart is the sacred. But not everything spiritique is necessarily traditionally Islamic.
Yeah.
But everything Islamic is spiritique.
Yeah.
So I never use the word Islamic. I'm an Islamic singer. Because actually it's a little bit, you know, you need audacity. And some people, unfortunately, they do it knowingly or unknowingly for marketing purposes. It's marketing and it sells. But definitely most of my music is drawn from faith, is faith-based. I wouldn't call it Islamic. I don't think I'm worthy to be called an Islamic artist. I'm not. Can be compared with Ziryab and all these great masters. But Baraka for sure is both spiritique at once and Islamic, because that was the goal.
Yeah.
That was the hadaf. The hadaf was to immerse myself in the tradition of Islamic music and to do something. And I hope inshallah it's accepted.
إن شاء الله أن الهدف في قلب المرمى. شكرا جزيلا لوجودك معنا.
Thank you so much.
شكرا لك. مشاهدينا نرجع لبقية فقرات ليالي الكويت. شكرا لكم.